You know that thing you've been putting off? The email, the workout, the project that's been sitting open in a tab for 3 days. You call it laziness, but it's not. Your brain is actually working exactly as it was designed to, just against the version of you that has deadlines, goals, and a calendar. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why procrastination happens, why willpower alone can't fix it, and what actually works instead. Here's what's really happening inside your head every time you delay something. There are two systems competing for control. The first is your prefrontal cortex, the newest, most human part of your brain. It handles planning, reasoning, and thinking about the future. It's the part of you that knows the report is due Friday, and that starting early would make things easier. The second is your limbic system, older, faster, and far more powerful in the moment. It doesn't care about Friday. It only cares about how you feel right now. When a task feels boring, difficult, uncertain, or emotionally uncomfortable, your limbic system treats it almost like a threat, something to avoid, the same way it would tell you to avoid pain. The problem is simple. In a straight fight between what's good for you long-term and what feels better right now, the limbic system wins almost every time. Not because you're weak, because that's literally what it evolved to do. For most of human history, there was no such thing as a deadline. There were only immediate threats and immediate rewards. Find food, avoid danger, conserve energy. A brain that prioritized right now over someday was a brain that stayed alive. That wiring never updated. Your brain is still running ancient software, except now the threats it's avoiding are things like writing an email or starting a workout, tasks that feel uncomfortable but carry zero real danger. Your limbic system can't tell the difference. Discomfort is discomfort, whether it's a predator or a spreadsheet. This is why procrastination rarely looks like doing nothing. It looks like doing something, just not the right something. You'll suddenly feel the urge to clean your entire room, reorganize your desk, reply to messages you'd been ignoring for weeks. Watch one more video, then another. None of that is laziness. It's your brain actively searching for a task that gives it relief instead of discomfort, anything that isn't the thing you're actually avoiding. Psychologists call this emotion regulation gone wrong. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the feeling the task creates. Say you have a report due Friday. On Monday, that deadline is abstract. It doesn't feel real yet, so your limbic system has nothing urgent to react to. And without urgency, there's no motivation loud enough to override the discomfort of starting. But by Thursday night, everything changes. The deadline stops being an idea and becomes a felt reality. Suddenly, there's adrenaline, fear, urgency, and you finish the report in 3 hours flat. Here's the important part. That wasn't motivation kicking in. That was panic finally getting loud enough to beat avoidance. You didn't become more disciplined at 9 p.m. Thursday. You just ran out of room to keep avoiding the feeling. This is where most advice fails. Just have more discipline. Just push through. That advice treats procrastination like a character flaw, something you fix by trying harder. But willpower is a limited resource. It depletes throughout the day. And the more emotionally loaded a task feels, the more willpower it costs to face it. So telling a procrastinator to just do it is like telling someone with a fear of heights to just not be scared. It ignores the actual mechanism causing the behavior. If procrastination were really about laziness, it wouldn't disappear the moment a deadline becomes real. But it does, instantly, which tells you the issue was never effort. It was emotional avoidance. So if willpower isn't the answer, what is? The real fix is making the task feel small enough and immediate enough that your limbic system stops treating it as a threat. This is why just start actually works better than just finish. Committing to 2 minutes of a task, not the whole task, lowers the emotional stakes enough that your brain doesn't resist it. 2 minutes doesn't feel threatening. A 3-hour project does. Once you start, something interesting happens. The discomfort that was stopping you often fades within the first few minutes. That's because most of the resistance was never about the task itself. It was about the anticipation of starting it. The task was never the hard part. The beginning was. Procrastination isn't a discipline problem. It's an ancient survival system misfiring in a modern world it was never built for. Your brain isn't broken and it isn't lazy. It's just protecting you from a threat that doesn't actually exist. Once you understand that, procrastination stops being something to feel guilty about and starts being something you can actually work with by shrinking the first step instead of demanding more willpower.